Welcome to Criterion Reviews. I'm Nathan, and today we'll be going through my Criterion collection. I have quite a bit of movies here, so this may be separated into a couple different parts. We'll see. I started collecting Criterion movies about 3 years ago now, and this last year was like my biggest purchases because it was the first year that I participated in the Barnes & Noble half-off sale, and I went pretty crazy. So we're going to start off with the big box sets first and then move on to our single DVDs. The vast majority of them are Blu-ray with some that are not Blu-ray. So yeah, let's get started. In no particular order, I have Zatoichi, The Blind Swordsman. I've not seen any of these movies, but I got into Criterion movies because of my love of samurai flicks, so this seemed kind of essential. This comes with like 22? From 1962 to 1973. So, it says right here, 25 films. So this is also unopened too. It's completely sealed. So I'm looking forward to diving into that. Next one, oh, this is heavy. Ingmar Bergman's Cinema. I waited for this till the price went down a little bit. I got this on eBay for like $100 less than when it was brand new, so it was a pretty sweet deal. Yeah, I love Ingmar Bergman, so if you love Ingmar Bergman, this is kind of essential. It comes with this awesome booklet here that I haven't really dived into yet. Look at that handsome Swede. That dude knows how to make some good-ass movies. The next one is currently my number one in my top 10 Criterion films. It is Kieslowski's Three Colors Trilogy. I mean, what can I possibly say about these movies? I'm looking to do an in-depth review of these movies. I'll need to rewatch them, but I mean, this is amazing. Get it. Buy it now. Since we were just talking about samurais not too long ago, obviously had to go with Lone Wolf and Cub. These are amazing, so much fun. Definitely one of the most over-the-top Criterion releases in terms of like the movies themselves. Just awesome grindhouse samurai, gory goodness. Just all sorts of good stuff here. I should probably do a review of these. All right, speaking of more samurai stuff, Yojimbo Sanjuro. I've only seen Yojimbo. I've not seen Sanjuro yet, so this is one of the reasons why I wanted to buy this. I mean, it's Kurosawa, man. Come on. Next one, Eric Romers. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Six Moral Tales. I've only seen the Bakery Girl short film and My Night at Maude's. So I watched them out of order. I should probably watch them in order, but based on the strength of those two films, particularly My Night at Maude's, this is just amazing, amazing stuff. Really happy to have this purchase here. And it comes with a book that he wrote, which is pretty cool. You probably wrote the book first, huh? Or maybe after, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll definitely have to dive into this a little bit more. Next one is another unopened one. I got this, just a few months ago during the half-off Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble's. It's the Wim Wenders Road Trilogy. It's got Alice in the Cities, Wrong Move, and Kings of the Road. I've not seen any of these films, but I love Wim Wenders. I love Paris, Texas, and I love The American Friend. So I just bought this on the strength of the director alone. One of my personal favorite film trilogies of all time, the Before trilogy. I love Richard Linklater. He is one of my favorite directors ever. He's made some of my favorite movies outside of these ones. Boyhood, Dazed and Confused, even School of Rock. I love Richard Linklater, man, and these movies are amazing. The best romance trilogy ever. Fight me on that. Speaking of Kieslowski, Decalogue. I haven't seen this yet, and I know a lot of people are probably screaming at their screen right now going, you need to watch that. This is an investment, man. It's 10-hour episodes with the inclusion of the longer cuts of a short film about a killing and a short film about love. So well over 10 hours, so it's gonna take some time, but I love Kieslowski, so I already know I'm gonna love Decalogue. I have seen the first 2 episodes and then I got sidetracked, but I mean, I'm excited to finish this. All right, I guess there were 2 versions that Criterion released of the Monterey Pop Festival. They released like a single version of just like the documentary itself. I got the complete Monterey Pop Festival that features the entire set list of Jimi Hendrix and the entire, or some of the set list, it looks like, of Otis Redding, 2 of my favorite musical artists. But yeah, I'm a huge music nerd. That's my other big passion, and this is essential. The next one I got is the Human Condition Trilogy by Miyazaki Kobayashi. I've not seen these yet, but I love Kobayashi. I love Harikiri. He's an amazing director. For some reason, this isn't released on Blu-ray. There's only a DVD release of this, and I'm curious as to why that is, because this is newer Criterion packaging, but they don't have a Blu-ray, which is kind of disappointing, but I'm sure these movies are still amazing. Next one I got is the Coker Trilogy. I've heard a lot about this. I saw the first film, Where's the Friend's House? I gotta be honest, it was okay. Wasn't really amazing. I totally understood what the film was going for. I understand what it was trying to convey. I get the themes of the film. I just didn't find it all that compelling. So not off to a great start with this, but I'll check out the other 2 films. I still need to see Close Up and his other movies, but yeah, Coker Trilogy. So I already have the Bergman box set, but before I had that, I had some other Bergman films. This is not really a box set. No, I guess it is, because it does have the television version and theatrical version. Anyway, this is Fanny and Alexander. I haven't seen it yet, I know. I've only seen 2 Bergman films. I've seen Persona and I've seen Wild Strawberries. I love both those movies. And I still need to watch Seventh Seal. I got a lot to go on Bergman. It'll take some time, but yeah, Fanny and Alexander. I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Obviously, I'll start with the television version and take my time with that, and then see what the theatrical version is like. It sounds like most people prefer both the television version of this and Scenes from a Marriage, so that's where I'll start with those. Next film, Persona. Obviously, this is my first Bergman film. I love this movie. You know, since I have the box set, I might consider selling these. I'm not sure if there's any difference. Maybe these have more bonus features, and if that's the case, I'll hold on to them. But yeah, I love this movie. This one doesn't even need an introduction. Come on now. If you like Criterion movies and you don't own this, then you're already fucking up. Okay, so that's pretty much it for most of the box sets. So now we're moving on to the kind of single, just straightforward Blu-ray DVD releases. Repo Man, Alex Cox. I was very surprised to know that this was on the Criterion collection. Pretty crazy, because just of how very B-movie this is. Not to say that it's bad, because I love this movie. This just would make more sense as like a Scream Factory release, but the fact that it's on Criterion is pretty fucking cool, and this movie is super punk rock. I love this movie. This next movie I've been a fan of well before I got into Criterion movies, and that is David Cronenberg's Videodrome. This movie is amazing. Most of David Cronenberg's films is amazing, and I'm happy to learn that a lot of his films are part of the Criterion collection. And Crash, a film I have not seen but have heard a ton about, is coming out, is it this year or next year? That's one of the new upcoming Criterion releases. So that's pretty cool. I might have to check that one out. But yeah, Videodrome, amazing. Peter Woods, Debbie Harry, what a babe. This next one I've heard a lot about. I've owned this for a long time. I just have not had time to see it. Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters. Paul Schrader, obviously writer of Taxi Driver, director of Blue Collar, and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, he's obviously a great filmmaker, great writer. This looks like his most ambitious movie based on the few moments I have seen of it. And what a cool cover, just like super gold and a lot of cool images on this. I'm excited. I really don't know much about this movie. I'm excited to get into it. This one I watched recently because of Halloween. Night of the Living Dead. How amazing would it be if Criterion was able to get the rights to the original Dawn of the Dead and do a proper Blu-ray release of that? I actually own the out-of-print Blu-ray of Dawn of the Dead, but that's the only Blu-ray available to my knowledge, and for some reason the copyright stuff going on with that movie is just super stupid, kind of like what happened with this one. But if Criterion was able to do a Dawn of the Dead release, that would be amazing. But obviously, this is good enough for now. I love this movie. I like Dawn of the Dead a little bit more. Next one is a film I watched recently. Enjoyed it so much, decided to buy it. Breathless, Jean-Luc Godard. Kind of a polarizing filmmaker. A lot of people don't like him. This is the only film I've seen of his so far. I really enjoyed it, but I can kind of see why it wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea. I'm curious to learn more about his film stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and one of the reasons I bought it is I'm curious to see a lot of the special features on this. There's video essays on it. I love to hear people kind of like hear their version of what they think this movie's about. Saw this one last year, was pretty crazy. Repulsion, Roman Polanski. This is pretty great. I really enjoyed it. Very trippy, very surreal, very claustrophobic. I mean, Polanski is just a mastermind at making you feel anxious. And he does it both with this movie and Rosemary's Baby. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. God, this movie is just... Got the Blu-ray in there. This movie is just insane. But everyone knows. Who doesn't know this movie? Watch it if you haven't seen it. Come on now. Wings of Desire. This is a film I have not seen yet, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I just found out not too long ago that the movie City of Angels with Nicolas Cage is a remake of this. So yeah, but what's better is that the Goo Goo Dolls is not in this. Nick Cave is in this, and I'm a huge Nick Cave fan, so this is already the better version, obviously, just for that alone. This one is probably one of the rarest Blu-rays I own. Cost me a pretty penny getting it. The Circle Rouge. I love Jean-Pierre Melville. I've seen La Dolos, which is not on Blu-ray. Please, Criterion, get that on Blu-ray. And I have La Samurai. I'll pull that out in a minute. But Le Circle Rouge, I have not seen this yet. I'm really looking forward to it. I love Melville's directing style. But I'm very excited to have this. This took me some time tracking it down for a reasonable price. To The Devil's Backbone. I haven't seen it. A lot of these movies I haven't seen yet, and a ton of them I have seen too. We're just kind of in the ones that I bought recently. But Guillermo del Toro is an amazing filmmaker. I own Pan's Labyrinth. I love Pan's Labyrinth, so I heard this is also a great film in a similar vein of that movie, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. All right, we'll do ones that I have seen a little bit. Harold and Maude. Amazing, amazing movie. I'm a big Hal Ashby fan. It would be super cool if they were able to do The Last Detail on Criterion, but I am fine with Harold and Maude and being there for right now. I haven't seen Shampoo. I don't know if I'm really interested, but I love most of Hal Ashby films that I have seen. He's a really underrated filmmaker, I feel. This is a director I still need to be familiar with. I haven't seen any of his films. This is the one that I do own. I know a lot about behind the scenes of this movie, like Hitchcock was trying to get the rights to it, but this director beat him to the punch. I hear amazing things about it, so I need to check it out. Another film I bought that I have not seen, Jean-Luc Godard's Band of Outsiders. A lot of people say this is their favorite Godard film. Tarantino said he really loved this movie. And then he also said he grew out of Godard, so I don't know if he loves it anymore. But I'm curious to watch this one. I'm just curious to get into this director's filmography. He's very polarizing, and that fascinates me. All right, now we're going into some of my personal favorites. I got a ton of Wes Anderson ones. The only Wes Anderson films I need to complete my Wes Anderson collection is The Darjeeling Limited and Moonrise Kingdom. Other than that, I have all of his other ones, including the newest release of Grand Budapest Hotel, but we'll start with his first film, Bottle Rocket. I watched this for the first time last week. I really enjoyed it. It's not his best, but it still has that Wes Anderson charm. Amazing soundtrack. I really love the soundtrack to this. We'll keep that Wes Anderson going. Fantastic Mr. Fox. I love this movie. Who doesn't love this movie? Like, if you don't love this movie, I don't know if I can trust you. I always go back and forth between Rushmore and The Royal Tenenbaums in terms of which is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. I don't know. It's probably tied, to be honest, but God, I love this movie. Royal Tenenbaums. I mean, it's so heartwarming and awesome and original and whimsical. That's a good way to describe it. His movies are whimsical. This is part one of my Criterion collection so far. I think I'm starting to get a respectable collection here. Expect part two soon.